If you like to sit down. Okay. Hello. God dang it, Nathan. You ruined everything. I gotta get out of here now.
Goodbye.
Ah, jeez. Anyway, welcome to our newest live setting our live campaign, Darrowan, based in Nate and I's own world. This is going to be our session 0, so it's not going to be too much roleplay and dice rolling, but I wanted to make sure we were all on the same page with everything and make sure we are all understanding of the setting and everything going forward. The first thing I want to do right now is just set this. Pianos.
That's not a pillow for you.
It's okay.
It is if he says it is.
Dog's like, I sit here now. So first thing I want to go over. This will be a story-driven campaign, which it means in some way your character will have interaction with their backstory or with other aspects of the campaign that will interact with
Each other's backstory.
Yeah. So there is that, but it is a dungeon-focused campaign. So y'all are going to be exploring, figuring out what's going on, and diving deep into the depths of whatever. I'm not going to try and give it away, or wherever, and
Or whomever.
We'll get to that.
Kinky.
But you will have a chance to expand the story, but you will also have to overcome challenges within dungeons and explore and figure things out. Now, that said, I'm going to try and keep this a little bit more linear than my other campaigns. I usually like to do kind of a like free form, y'all go figure out what you want to do sort of deal. This is going to be much more straightforward. Linear is a bad word for it. It's more straightforward. You know what you need to do. Y'all will have choices y'all will have to make, but overall it's not like in the Redwell campaign, the first time y'all got set up. You good, Nate?
Would you like a peppermint?
Please. I don't know why I'm coughing so much. I told you I'm getting over the flu.
God, now we're all sick.
No, you're not contagious. It was last week. It was last Thursday.
Okay, so it's like that lingering sort of. Ugh.
I'm so glad my cold decided to like migrate away from me like around 11ish, noonish.
Yeah. Well, honestly, last night you weren't really even like you didn't even sound sick last night when we were recording. But where was
because
it?
I was holding sniffles in the entire time. Like I can't. I'm talking into a camera. I can't have sniffles.
Well, I'm talking into a microphone.
Yeah, that whatever things.
So
He might be talking into the camera. He
Maybe.
might be doing it completely wrong. You don't know.
ASMR.
He's not a
suddenly
perfect.
we realized there's cameras in here, and we've been just using them as mics the whole
Oh
time.
my god.
That would be so bad.
Okay.
So what you're saying is I should
Yeah.
not fillet the microphone.
Yeah. Don't fillet the microphone.
That's how we
please.
get banned.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
a lot of views. One of the two.
You
It
know,
totally depends
it's
on
up in
which
the air.
service we're on.
Depending on what side of TikTok this hits. Like,
Oh god.
Okay, so the way this campaign is going to work, it is going to be about a medium campaign. I'm looking from level 3 to level 15. And the way we're going to do it is we're kind of doing a meat and potatoes, almost like old school series, sort of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where we're going to have a series of sessions which y'all will go into like a storyline within a given area that's going to contribute to the entire story of the area that we're in, which we'll get into once we get over lore. And y'all are gonna go through that, and then we're gonna take breaks. We're gonna, like we talked about this before, we're thinking about doing that for your Monday night game, where it's going to be, we do a story, and then we take a break, recharge, come back, do another slew of sessions, recharge, come back. That way it gives y'all a chance to not feel as, like, overburdened if y'all want to do other games, and it also gives me a chance to really set up a good story and make sure everything is really intertwined with your characters.
Two of us here at the table have run 50+ episode games that have lasted at least 2 years on the short end. Having a shorter runtime would be
Well,
kind of nice.
what length are we thinking for the season, so to speak, and then how long for the hiatuses?
My main thing, what I was thinking is about 4 to 5 sessions
Okay.
on and about 2 to 3 weeks off.
Okay.
So it'd be enough time for me to recharge and write and get everything cinched up for the next time we come back, and it'll also give y'all a chance. It's like, let's say y'all wanted to play like a short campaign or a couple of like one shots or something like that, or if y'all needed to do something on Sunday that didn't have anything to do with D&D, y'all would be able to do that. It's just something that we wanted to experiment with because, like, I love long form campaigns, but I also understand both from a DM and a player perspective, it can get kind of tedious at times because you get tired, you want to try other things, and sometimes you just need a recharge time. And sometimes a week recharge isn't that good. Like, let's be real, sometimes like you just need some time away and for you to come back and try again. Now, I want to go over like hardline no's in the campaign. Now, obviously, we've played D&D together for years now, so we kind of know everything that makes us comfortable and uncomfortable, things like that. But I want to go over some things to make sure there is like some hard no's. Just that, like, if we're going to put this on the internet, this is as a formality. Because it's not just about Twitch, it's about my personal, like, boundaries. So, like, no SA. SA being sexual assault.
Yeah.
No bigotry, so that's, like, racism, homophobia, transphobia.
Nobody be
things
rude
like
to the
that.
halflings.
Nobody be rude to
I'm
halflings.
gonna be
Podlings.
I'm gonna be rude to halflings, but not because I don't like them. It's just because I don't see them.
Oh, so you're just like unintentionally racist to halflings.
You're
Or
size
is he
blind.
or is he so unracist
Yeah.
that he doesn't see halflings? Everyone's the same size.
Now, sexual content, I'm not like super bothered by, but if there's like a section where like a character is going to do the deed, so to speak, it's going to be a fade to black.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you wouldn't-
prefer a fade to black.
You know
Fade to
what?
black.
Yeah. What's
Well,
that?
he's gonna walk around with like vibrating nipple rings the whole time.
God damn it.
Hey, I'll be over here.
So wait, are you the paladin of the oath of throwing it back?
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah,
Because now I can't unsee someone's fan art. It's apparently Sephiroth when he turns around and Nibble him. Sephiroth's booty is pretty thick in the 3D animation, so now they're calling him Clapperroth.
damn it.
I was trying to remember.
Okay, so with that in mind, I want to go
What's your
around the table. If there's anything,
ASMR blooded one.
I just want to go around the table. If there's anything extra y'all want to throw out there, just as a hard no.
Wasps and other stinging insects.
Wasp and no stinging.
Flying stinging insects. Like
Okay.
scorpions on cool. Wasps, yellow jackets, shit
No
like that
flying
is a big
scorpions.
no.
No flying
Please,
stinging.
God, no. God.
Okay, I'll write that down.
Chris is
I mean,
like,
that's-
okay, entire first dungeon remake.
I don't think.
See,
Like,
and
honestly-
you said wasp, and I was
But,
like, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant? What?
I don't like
No.
them either.
I mean,
No,
yeah,
why not?
No,
You
like-
know what? I'm really
That's
Like
it.
if we're going there, then sure, let's go there. And then you said, and other stinging insects. Like, man, she really hates those guys.
no, but like
I'm over here going
honeybees,
flat on
I'm
purple
fine.
bucket.
Like
Yeah.
carpenter bees and shit, I'm okay. It's just wasps and especially things with that shape.
Yeah, so I mean that's a pretty easy thing to do. Actually, in my abomination vaults with Moochie, I actually do it's my online Pathfinder game, and for them they don't like spiders, so I change
with them.
everything.
Yeah,
Human muppet.
Like,
that would be spidery.
I change it to something else, and if it can't be changed, like if the mechanically, I change the spider
Yes.
to like smiley faces.
Yeah.
So
Sword and shield.
A Une orc divination wizard.
So would be Yoon.
yeah, it's Yoon, but you haven't you haven't heard it out loud though. So.
Yeah.
I learned it by reading it, guys. It's like Meisels.
It looks like Uni.
It does look like.
I thought it was une because it's like there's a lot of apostrophes after the e.
Yeah.
So.
I also
Something
was
to-
going uni, but I was like, I assume I'm saying it wrong.
Consistently every time.
Is there anything that you want to add to this, or?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I've already mentioned mine. I prefer the fade to black, and I think it's a standard thing at this table. Nothing to kids.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like everybody's like that goes without saying. But like I don't have a lot.
Yeah,
of
it goes
other-
without saying, but I forgot to say it, so it's good that you said something.
Also, I would prefer something that has popped up too much on TikTok news feeds for me. Is do not make us keep up with like when we went to the bathroom.
Oh no, y'all are gonna have to do that.
Damn it.
Because if y'all
I'm
gonna
not-
say something, you're gonna shit your pants.
We're gonna forget. We're gonna forget for a while. Then all of us are gonna take a D10 of bludgeoning damage.
Quite literally in the middle of every in the middle of every like tense scene, like, I can't believe you did that. You shouldn't have killed that person. I'm gonna go take a shit. And my character's just gonna walk away.
I love
Hold it right
I'm gonna
there.
wear it.
dig a hole. Dig a hole. Don't leave it out, man. Just stepped in it.
Okay, is there anything that any hard nose on you or?
Nobody said anything extra. So.
Yeah. Anything for you?
No hard nose
Okay,
from
okay.
the scene.
I'll throw another one in there then. No undiscussed PvP. Like,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
there
no
becomes a
PvP.
situation for PvP, there needs to be discussion before it goes through.
And-
at all.
And I
Fair.
should say
That's
right
fair.
now,
I like that.
before we start out, like the goal of this campaign does require
Right.
working together. So I'm leaving it upon y'all to make characters that are like willing to work together for greater cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we all have, except for the halfling hater over there.
Well, none of us are halfling,
I know, so it's fine.
we're good.
It's
I,
fine.
to be honest, though, halflings are my favorite race.
I like playing halfling. I mean, if we were talking about centaurs now,
Shut your.
Chris hates centaurs.
You do hate centaurs.
I-
It's not that
hate-
bad.
I've made every halfling I've ever made has always been someone who just wants to go back home, but went on an unplanned, unwanted adventure
An
and doesn't know
unexpected
how to get
party?
home. He doesn't know how to read a map, and he's
Frodo more than
more
Bilbo.
like
You think so?
imagine.
Bilbo liked the adventure before it was all said and done.
I literally had
Frodo had a worse
one
time.
character who was fishing on a boat, caught a big fish that drug him downriver, and then doesn't know how to do the rest. It's like, I don't know how far I went. I died. And he just kind of tagged along with people who were bigger and stronger than he was.
I mean,
okay. So
valid.
with that out of the way, we're going to go over. Okay, so we are doing 5e. We've all played 5e, but we're going to be doing something new that
One rules.
these three already understand, which is the group initiative. So instead of all independently rolling initiative, we're going to have a leader in a certain situation, and they are going to roll initiative for the party. And then y'all will all take your turns at once, and then it will be the enemy turn.
It's really nice for not for people who are charging into battle versus people who want to do a
Fireball.
fireball.
Yeah.
The big thing is the way that we did it in the tester campaign was you start a discussion at your turn, and it does not have to be the same person going first every time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'll benefit bards with inspiration because you're like, okay, this is our heaviest smacker, so inspiration on them, they smack.
Yeah.
And the big thing too is when I say the leader, it's usually the person that initiates combat in some way, and that could be obscured by a situation. So I like when it comes down to it, if there's like a situation like there's a big argument and someone like an enemy reaches for a sword.
Someone flips over a table and you'll snap into a Slim Jim, and then
Yep.
and then-
Yeah. Y'all can
Someone-
actually discuss among yourselves. It's like, okay, combat is about to happen. Who wants to take the initiative and go first?
Also, one of the things we did is that initiative is not always determined by your initiative
Yeah.
score.
So it's like Pathfinder in a way. So if
you could stealth into combat.
Yeah, or like if you're talking and things go south, you can use your charisma score. So it's little things like that. But
How do you
this
use
is
charisma into combat? Now I need to try that.
Verbally slap someone right
yeah,
in the face.
you like it
No,
would
that's
be an intimidation
mock.
roll, yeah.
That's vicious. That's different.
But the other one, which we actually, you know what? The other one is called Death Echoes, and we'll get into that once we go over the character setup and the setting. But essentially what it is, it's going to be a shared resource. And it'll allow you to kind of not only explore, it's called Echoes of Death, or Death Echoes.
Death Echoes.
Death Echoes.
Lego my death echo.
But yeah, before we get too far into the Death Echoes, I want to go over the world a little bit. Just to give a refresher for everybody, and Nathan, you can help me a little bit with this. Yeah. But while I'm here,
Is that all one packet?
It's one packet.
It's a packet for everybody?
Yeah.
yeah,
Is this the
Oh, it's a
same
table.
as we had before on the character creation doll?
a little bit, except this actually has a timeline now.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
You're
Because
gonna
I
draw
want
monsters in these oceans.
There's definitely monsters in the ocean.
there's literally an arch spirit in the ocean, Osiara, which drowns ships. So
I'm just looking
It looked
over
like a
I'm looking
circus. It's
at
about to be a
Western
circus.
Wild Waters and wondering what type of amusement park that is.
Obviously, a cowboy themed one.
It's the
Yes.
Six Flags over Dallas.
yeah.
Oh, it's just Typhoon, or not Typhoon Lagoon. It was, I can't remember. They shut that park down across the street from Six Flags.
Yeah.
Okay, so Utah, the world we're in, it is technically a continent that is vast and it stretches both hemispheres. So if you look at the map, it goes all the way down, and in the middle is a monoreserve called the Crystal Glacier. It is a old world continuously in some sort of flux through through people fucking around and finding out. But it is a world that's inspired by Jim Henson, inspired by specifically stuff like The Labyrinth, Dark Crystal, but also Conan the Barbarian.
And we did a lot of mine comes from what I wrote was from the Black Company,
Yeah,
things like that, and Ray Bradbury.
yeah. Some very very broad, but to get an idea of what the world feels like, it's very eclectic, very strange. And not everywhere, some places have some sort of facsimile towards real life cultures. Like the Crimson Belt does have Mongolian and Middle Eastern things like that, but it's very vague. And vague enough to where you can just kind of plug and play on how you want to do that. Now, the world itself, or the continent of Utah itself, became isolated after the man-made disaster called the Shade hit. This Shade happened because they drained the mana reserves in the old kingdoms. And it
Drill, baby, drill.
Yeah, it literally, and it caused a civilizational collapse. Most of the old kingdoms got destroyed. Only one technically survived by lifting themselves into the clouds, called the Gliding Isles. The Tularians, which are they're 1-to-1 are goblins. They're not very well liked, and they're also very reclusive. They don't like to talk with people. But for about 1,000 years, people lived in the shade until there was the Reclamation Wars, in which the mountains split, the world's peak split, and you see the crystal band come reveal itself, this glacier that brought mana back into the world, which allowed all these groups to start fighting the shade and receding it.
In the timeline, when did the mountain split?
Let's see.
I just didn't have the book. 471-ish.
Shadow
You and I've talked timeline a little bit before, so I was trying to see where.
Yeah, which is what I wanted to get into.
Okay.
Because I think the end of the Reclamation Wars
Mhm.
is about where your character comes in, because
Yeah.
there's something called the forward push, which, by the way, I made a lot of this because you were like, I want to have this character that was this war hero. I'm like, okay, I can throw this shit in here now.
Yes. Altering storylines and everything.
So in the forward push is like the time when all of these groups came together and just did a Hail Mary to try and get as much land as possible. It ended up getting most of Utah
And we
back.
did the dang thing.
You did the dang thing.
That's right.
And your character at this point, which we'll get more into, would be like, oh, no more fighting to do.
Yep. Time to start drinking.
But
or at least, hey, you know what I can still do? Drink. Because I was drinking when I was fighting.
yeah.
And then I died.
But yeah. So after that, the into the new era is where we're at. Is when you saw things like the Crimson Belt unification happen. You saw Vemendale, the southernmost state, established. And very recently, the area where y'all are going to be in, the place that this campaign is based in, Brema, had very recently become free of the shade. And because of this, to get into Brema, all the area, all the little places, there's not like a formal state in Brema. It's a lot of like little city states, followed by like little communes and hamlets that are spread out across the landscape. Because back in the days of the Shade, the more people you had in one area, the more likely the Shade would encroach and destroy. So it was more advantageous to have smaller communities instead of like these giant cities. So they started to build up a little bit over the past 200 years, but for the most part, they lived like they did before the Shade was receded. And right now, they're dealing with, on their left or on their western end, they're dealing with the Deadlands, the only place in Utah that still has the Shade. And then to the north, they're dealing with the Commonwealth, which is trying to encroach on the land to try to preach that the evils of magic.
So where is the tombs of Darrowan? Are they in the Deadlands or are they somewhere in Brema?
Yes, so the Tombs of Darrowan, a semi-demi-plane, as you would call it.
A semi-demi-mimi plane?
Yeah.
Simby Dibby.
A binning, dimming plane.
Humana.
It is a strange structure found in Brema, on the edge of Brema and the Deadlands.
Okay, so it's like a floor.
No one really knows who Darrowan is, where the tombs came from. They've seemingly been here just always. Time doesn't affect them. You cannot destroy them. And every now and then, people called Awoken emerge from these tombs. Every Awoken is someone that has lived before and has a chance to reclaim their destiny. And every Awoken is someone that went on to do, I wouldn't say great things, something impactful.
They did something.
Yeah. An example that y'all have seen in my game is the Whisperwind Academy. That was founded by an Awoken. Now, for y'all, are going to be a group of Awoken coming out of the tombs for the very first time and having to...
Like an Awoken?
Yeah. Yeah, where... Okay, go through that, we go through that. Ah, yes. So we go to character creation. So, what that means, as an Awoken, it means your character was at one point epic. And I don't mean epic as in like the greatest fighter or anything like that.
I mean,
it's all, well, yeah.
I mean, the shoe fits, you know.
Yeah.
Hubris
Yeah.
PM over here.
So humble, so
Two
humble.
classes combined into one very humble and what some might say, the most humblest.
The absolute humblest of humbles.
Some have said.
When we say epic, I mean someone that has accomplished a lot in their life and was either, they might have been struck down before they could really do something, or maybe their destiny wasn't completely fulfilled when they died. So your character was epic. So the way I put it is like you were levels 12 to 15 when you died. So you were like, you're coming into this a little bit less powerful, to say the least, than you actually were. And again, your character died. So I believe we got all the deaths here, but we'll go character by character to go over everything.
Still air circulating from the.
It's catching the
Mhm.
backdrop, and it makes the camera wobble.
There's a.
That air vent does not blow up. That's the reason this got turned back into the dining room from the living room. To start getting hot. Also, tons of kids' toys.
Tons of kids' toys everywhere.
So much kid toys.
Give me a second.
One.
Too quick! Ah! Okay, anyway. So, of course, your character died. Another thing that your character has is something called an artifact of legend. Now, this is an artifact or an item that was signature to you. It doesn't have to be like a shining sword. It doesn't have to be like a suit of armor. It could be whatever you want it to be. It's something that when people thought about your character, they're like, that's something that it's like a thing, almost like an extension of yourself. Now,
Inextricable from who you used
Yeah.
to be.
it might be something that you were working on. It might be something that was handed down for generations. It could be anything. But it's something that, even if you don't know it yet, you're currently seeking. Because as an Awoken, you do need to release
Yeah,
your power.
we've already talked about.
Yeah. So, now I want to get into, we're finally going to get into the Echoes of Death. Now, what are the Echoes of Death? Well, Darrowan, the Tombs of Darrowan, brought you back from death. And it controls the nature of life and death, at least in this plane, as far as you know. Or don't know. You might not know shit. But it's giving you insights into the nature of life and death. Which means y'all now have a shared resource, mechanically, this is what it means, where every game you start out with 2 echoes. And
that
you can,
the whole party could use.
yeah. You can gain echoes by healing an ally from 0 HP. Being victorious in battle, that means defeating an encounter. Or gaining insights into life and death. And what that means is that everyone mechanically will get a version of the Speak with Dead spell. And you'll be able to talk to the dead to gain insights into their life, which might expand your knowledge of what's going on, or maybe what's gone on in your past. It will also give you a chance to gain new echoes, which, by the way, I got some things for y'all. I gotta hand them out. Now, before I hand these out, these abilities they're all over the place. If you have like a out of combat ability, it's going to be less expensive than most combat abilities. Think of combat abilities kind of like a Hail Mary. And they're also somewhat related to your backstory. So, let's see. This one's yours.
Mhm.
Do we share these things or we keep them to ourselves?
You can do what you want with it.
Ooh, mine's a secret.
Is that Nate's or Hewitt's?
That's Nate's.
Okay.
Here's Hewitt's. I might have to adjust yours, Hewitt. Yours.
And Jones.
Now, these are the ones you start out with. As you gain insights into life and death, you will be able to gain more of these echoes. And as you level up, you gain more echoes that you can use to use these abilities. So the maximum echoes you can have is 2 times your proficiency bonus. So you, like, right now,
We'd start off with a max of 4
yeah. So when
collectively across the party.
yeah.
Okay.
And when it comes to that specific Speak with Dead spell, you can use to gain echoes. You can use it as many times as half your proficiency bonus.
So once right now.
Yeah.
But that's once per person?
No, y'all each get your own.
Right.
Like, so y'all don't
So
have
we
to
have-
use it.
So we have technically across party, we have a max of 5 of
Yeah.
this special speaker.
But if you were to get, like let's say you use this
Right.
and you get an echo from it. That's
goes-
your echo now. It's not their echo.
It doesn't go into the party pool?
Well, I'm talking. Well, okay. I should have. Let's say echo abilities to make it. You can gain echo abilities and echoes from using this. If you're to gain an ability from using this, it would be your ability. Does that make sense?
You can learn new skills doing Speak with Dead, but you can also earn points.
So they're like echo abilities are like Pokemon moves.
Yes.
You retrain or you gain a new Pokemon move.
Are they HM or TM moves?
What?
I
Okay,
get it.
so
I want to know if I can
but-
unlearn.
but the echo points.
Yeah.
Wanna
No,
go
that's
always
the
party
cost
pool.
for
that's always part of it. Yeah.
Okay.
My bad. I described it wrong.
That's all I wanted to figure out was that all the points are always party pool, but we'd always have individual ability tracks or something. Okay.
Can't wait for Nate and I to use mine.
Okay. Let's do we want to share these with each other for strategizing, or do we want to keep them secret for biggest story effect?
Because we're going initiative all together, it'd be smart to share some that are like
Yeah.
combat related. But if it's not combat related, then I don't see why you would have to.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I'm leaving it up to y'all.
Who's got combat related right now? That's 3 of us.
Right on.
Go ahead. I can go ahead and share.
Yeah, I mean,
I can use all 4 points that we can max earn at the moment to turn a ranged attack into a AoE of 15 feet.
hell yeah.
So if I shoot my gun, I can then affect everything within a 15-foot radius. So 30 feet diameter.
You're basically throwing a frag grenade.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's hella
It's
it's
cool.
hella expensive.
It,
But it's also a bonus action.
Brooke. Okay. Do you want to go
Yeah,
next?
it's the
or-
most expensive, I think.
Yeah.
out of all of them.
So I have Unending Courage. It's an action. Costs 3 echoes. It's a 15-foot range and has a 30-second duration. My courage has allowed me to live far longer than you expected. So me and one ally of my choice gain +1 AC, advantage against saves for fear effects, temporary HP equal to 10 plus our PB.
Okay. I have a question about mine. Is mine concentration?
It's gonna be a
No.
gung-ho, like
All right. Okay, so mine is
pulling our swords together and just yell smite and run.
mine is called Gusts of Darkness. It's an action. It only costs 2 echoes, has a 30-foot range, and a minute without concentration. It's basically a mini darkness spell. 15-foot radius sphere. And I can choose up to 2 creatures in addition to myself to magically be able to see through it. And when a creature enters or ends their turn in this magical darkness, D4 plus spellcasting mod, which at the moment would be +2.
I'll share. Mine is Radiance of the Lost King. The bonus action costs 1 echo. Touch. Lasts 10 minutes. I can give advantage on charisma checks and save to a target.
Very, very specific bless.
I,
If it's the
Okay.
background.
I can go ahead and then share mine. Mine will be Academic Insight, bonus action, 1 echo, touch, 10 minutes. Basically, that I can choose myself or someone else to basically give them advantage for 10 minutes on just wisdom and intelligent ability check.
So between the two of y'all, we could cover all the mental
Yeah.
saves for
Yeah.
somebody.
Well,
Check.
just
No.
just to be clear, yeah, you can't do saves, but yours is like every charisma-based roll. You can put that on.
So if someone's getting up doing a speech, I'll just be like, hey, there you go.
And the way I'm gonna handle it is I'm gonna see how y'all play. I'm gonna see how the dynamics start to work, and then when it comes to these echoes, I'm gonna try and throw some stuff at y'all. I wanted to, like, the initial idea is like to give some of y'all really powerful ones, some of y'all some like less powerful but still useful ones.
I don't want to say shitty, but it's
Yeah.
good. It's good.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't want to
it's
say I
powerful,
didn't
I mean,
do you
Hail
well.
Mary type. Like he
Well, I
had
mean-
Hail Mary.
Hold-
Yeah, yeah.
But
His I wish I had a fireball, but I have a pistol, so fireball pistol,
Yeah.
range attack.
And
let's
also,
go.
like, I think yours is like if you try to use that on a crit.
Well, the thing is if I use that on a crit, when we can have more, when we can get more of the death echoes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and so like
Can you like decide, much like Smite? Can you decide to use that after you know you hit?
That is
Yeah.
not clarified on there, but if he's saying yes.
It's supposed to be like that.
So
Okay.
it's my bonus action, but the thing is, when we can get more than 4 is when this starts to get real expensive. Because if I use this on a crit, when we can get 6,
Mm-hmm.
I use all 6. It's an expensive gas.
wait, it uses
It's 4 normally, but if I decide to use it on a crit, it
the
uses.
cost goes up.
If I
Uses
use it on
all
a
of
crit, it uses all of our echoes.
Use it all.
And-
All
again-
remaining or all max?
Just as many as you have.
So since we
Minimal.
right now we have 4 that we can use together.
Yeah.
So my ability is the most expensive. When we get the chance to have 6 as a party or 8 as a party, I use that on a crit. I use all of what we have. So it's one of those that right now, no matter what my ability uses, all we got. In the future, if I use it on a crit, it uses all we got, but it still stays 4 if it's just a normal attack.
And we can like work with it to see if that is too punishing. My big thing is like your character is probably gonna get like pretty powerful in like in terms of like a weapon. What does your weapon do?
The gone is 1d6
It does 1d6 plus your
plus my charisma modifier.
yeah, so it's gonna do a lot of damage in a 15-foot radius, and then you add
Yeah, and being able to do that twice, it would be a lot. It would be a lot. So I like the idea of like, okay, that wipes it out.
Yeah.
We gotta go talk to some dead people if we want to do that again.
Right.
and
We
I
could talk to people we just shot.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. That's really what
I mean-
I want y'all to do. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit
Kill,
like
then
inspired
interrogate.
by Baldur's Gate 3
Mm-hmm.
and just going up to every dead body and being like, "Hey, how you doing, buddy?"
What info you got?
Shoot first, then ask questions because it
So
gives
it's
you
a little
points.
bit of that. It's a little bit of weirdness. Y'all are like obviously the game theme right now it has to do with like life and death and like
Mm-hmm.
things like that, but it is going to be somewhat lighthearted and weird because you're in Utah. This area is there's like rat people that walk around. People look like fucking puppets. Like for everyone at home, we actually have 2 puppets at the table. And like the character, and to explain what I mean by that, like the exiled, the people that would be, your humans, your halflings, and your dwarves, they're like, I think we said that once they arrived into Utah from some exiled nation, or from some nation they were exiled from, they were intermingled with the shade. So now they have like, some have like weird features. Some look like normal humans, dwarves, and halflings. Other ones look like, they have weird skin, like weirdly colored skin. They have,
Have like a extra
yeah, or something like that. But they also have puppet-like features, as a easy way to put it. But you also have things like wildlings, which are like they're animal people. Not to be confused with the avian, which are the bird-like species. Which
they're more like the birds and creatures from Dark Crystal.
yeah, the
Bird.
Skeksis, yeah. So if you picture the oven, picture more Skeksis and not like
Not Toucan Satan from Redwell.
Well, he's an oven, but like ovens can have horns and
No,
everything.
I'm just saying is he looks very much like a parrot with horns.
There was
Okay.
very little stuff I could do with that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know.
I have another question about the echoes. We gain echoes by healing an ally from 0 HP.
Yeah.
Is that healing back to max, or is that just a single HP will count?
Single HP.
Beautiful.
Does it have to be a spell or can it be like a potion?
It can be a potion.
Cool.
And if it happens, like if Jekyll was here again, and I was down and up and down and up and down and up, would each of those count for echo generation?
That's a good question.
Or
I
is it
didn't actually
maxed per ally? Per
Let's
encounter?
say max per ally. For
Per
now.
encounter, one
Yeah.
per ally per
Yeah.
encounter.
Like,
Good
so
question.
if you were... Okay, so let's put it like this. If you were to heal, like, Nate and Hewitt up from 0, you would get 2 echoes for
Right.
that. But if you
One.
did Nathan twice, you would only get 1 echo.
Yeah, one per ally per encounter.
Yeah.
But if we have multiple encounters in a day, and Nate goes down once in each of those encounters,
still one
it's only so it's one per
No,
ally per
no,
round?
it's still 2 echoes. You're
Okay.
right, yeah. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I'm...
Nate's going down in every
You
encounter.
see, this is
We
why
can
Essential
rethink
0
Nate's
is good,
going.
because it actually... Because this
Maybe
isn't
I need
something I
to
thought
think.
about.
just gonna rethink whether or not you should be running in first. You're going down in every
We do have a
encounter.
fighter, so no problem.
I mean, yeah, the
Well-
Sheila probably going.
Well, that's where that's where strategizing. Could I ask each of us, since we all did share them here before next time, if we can all write these into like a document so we can kind of strategize a little
Yeah.
better?
Or you could copy and paste into the Discord.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, copy paste in Discord.
Because I'm very much in wizard brain right now, and strategy is going to be my thing.
Yes.
strategic.
Speaking of, how about we go over some characters? I would like to get to know some of y'all's characters. I mean, honestly, I've already
How much-
read.
How much do you want us to share?
It's up to you.
Okay.
Like, I am here.
Do you have like an overall timeline of those of us that know when we died? Because I want to make sure that I've got mine in the timeline correctly.
Well, that's the big thing I wanted to talk about. The reason why we're going over characters, I want to make sure everyone's in the timeline and
Okay.
kind of cinched up into the world, so to speak. Because there is like for the most part, everyone hit the mark with their character, but there are some things where I have to, move some things around. Of course, Nathan is probably the one that has the easiest time because he's like pre-Shadow Era. You're like pre-Old Kingdom, I think. Your character's fucking old.
Mine's the oldest.
Then let's actually, why don't we do that? That'd be fun. Why don't we start with who died
Oldest.
first?
Okay.
And
Who's
then
the geezer?
Hey, can I get a beer?
same.
No.
So,
Tell us who you are before you get the beer.
his name is Wren. He's
Ren
from
the Forgotten King.
he's from originally he's a traveler here.
Okay, so just to let y'all know, terminology, a traveler is someone that is from another realm. In Utah, it is actually very common. It's more common for someone from a different realm. Let's say you're from like from Arax or from the Forgotten Realms. You're more likely to come from there than you are from the border, outside the borders of Utah. Because it's so fucking hard to travel outside of Utah. You have to go through island to island to get outside, and even then, you could die pretty easy.
Okay.
But a traveler is someone that is not from Utah in the terms of like either you're from the outskirts of the shade or you're from a different realm entirely.
I think in the stuff here you said that they were like the equivalent of like a planeswalker for those of us
Yeah.
that know MTG.
Yeah, planeswalker is another way to put it. Yeah, they're also called genus esoteric.
So, yeah, he is originally from like the Dark Sun universe. There's no orcs in the Dark Sun universe, so I had it to where in Dark Sun, I don't know how familiar you are with that setting,
Very vague.
but the gods are
30
dead.
years.
Very little magic. It just kind of sucks. It's just like a desert area.
Yeah.
So he got they were being oppressed by this crazy mage. So he got all the Oon together, and they traveled to Yudo. They opened a portal, the last little bit of magic.
Now, I just want to ask, is this like the origin of the Yunon?
Is that okay? That's what I was trying to make clear when I did it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I know
No.
that's your baby.
Oh, there's gonna be some major hero worship over here. If that's the case. Like,
Well, here's the thing.
Nobody remembers that's how
Yeah.
it came.
Yeah,
Because
like
it was so long ago when the shade happened. There's probably myths and everything.
Y'all didn't write a whole bunch of stuff down. Just
I
kind
want
of.
We did until it got destroyed.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Dead gum shade.
Okay,
Shade
if you look
destroyed
at
it.
It was
map,
fine until the shadow
if you
Nation.
actually look at the map, his
Burning
character
books
is
and stuff.
buried in the Obsidian Authority, which used to be Yun Kingdom, but is now something else entirely. Who is it controlled by? It's controlled by like like
he's like a mad mage who has enslaved a bunch of other mages. He runs it like Joseph Stalin.
Nice.
Communist mageocracy.
yeah. So
Okay.
your character would know about the Obsidian Authority and not be a fan of them. So like your character might not even know who Wren is. So your character in this is so old. You're like, yeah, I was a king. They're like, I'd never heard of you.
Yeah.
King,
Well-
I didn't vote for you.
What? It's true. It's true. So
okay,
yeah.
so like precursor Yoon.
Mhm.
Okay.
He helped establish the old kingdom, and he was killed when a bunch of wildlings tried to run him out.
Womp, womp, womp.
But he was buried in Azure with all his fancy gear he brought from the Dark Sun universe, including his holy symbol that has a little bit of his god.
God, his character's god wouldn't even be.
It's dead.
Yeah.
It's dead. It's a little bit of their soul. So you just decide how you want it.
So you're walking around with Calcifer and a necklace.
No, I'm not. Not anymore.
Okay.
Oh,
It's in the tomb.
Oh,
yeah.
The tomb of the lost god.
Womp, womp.
Or lost king.
I'm writing that down.
Okay, I think the next person to die would have to be.
Me?
Mhm.
Okay. Because I'm not sure. Because when you and I defined like the time period via messages, I was like, now there's so much time before my character died that I wasn't sure. So Reginald Shadesbane. Reginald came over when he was a young boy. Since the age of 8, he was a squire. Came over around 12 and into this mysterious land and befriended some. We decided they weren't going to be Gelfling. Whatever.
Yeah, because Gelfling is specifically.
Yeah.
and copyright.
Yeah. And that's I was like, look, I'm just going off of what I know, and I was
Yeah.
like,
And okay, so we can actually
Gelfling-esque.
go through.
so some characters, some people, some humanoids.
You could actually befriend some wildlings because
Okay.
wildlings are. I mean, they're animal people, but they have
Okay.
wildly different cultures.
So befriended some wildlings who were training to become paladins, and joined their ranks. Has been fighting ever since. Fought for 40 years during the Great Wars.
Would those be the Reclamation Wars?
Yes, during the Reclamation and the big push he was recently mentioning. Fought side by side with many a manner of beings against the Shade. I have the what's it called? The folk hero background. So I am well known. There are songs and stories about me.
I'm already writing poems.
And that's great. That's great because I want them. We always won, or at least I always won. I always lived, and then after the battles were over, I didn't have a path anymore or a purpose. There wasn't anything to fight, and I took up drinking and eventually fell asleep underneath a tree and didn't wake up.
What was the drink you said it was? Podling?
Yeah, it was a podling beverage that is akin to alcohol, is what I wrote down because.
Well,
Okay, so-
definitely
Again,
gonna come
So
up.
around 900 to 999 is when we see. Actually,
Well,
after,
no, he would have died between like
Mhm.
what, like 990
I would've-
and like.
I would've
10
died
era?
Yeah, I would have died
I would say, yeah. 10
after
and
the
newer.
999. Like after 999 is when I died. Like the 2 or 3 years after that, because I went heavy into the drinking thing.
We're just gonna put
But
you on 10 new era and call
The
it
big
a day.
thing, the
Yeah.
big thing about me is that I wish I would have died along my brothers in battle, and I feel like I did not give my all. I feel like I wasted my talents by living, and like I miss that glory, and so there's this pull to charge in a
Yeah.
little bit more the next time I get the chance.
Shadesbane's gonna crawl out of the tomb. Ready.
Leroy
Let's
There
go.
is no crawling. He is like the tomb
Leaps
door
out.
opens and he is full on sprinting, like Terminator knife hand running.
Anyway.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what kind of wildlings would you like to have been trained by?
Trained by or trained with or
You know,
have them
you
trained?
befriended some wildlings.
Yeah.
which
Were they
were-
pandas?
You can make them any weird animal you want.
Rat folk, cat folk,
Obviously, it
boar
should have been
folk,
oxen.
lions, tigers, and bears.
You ever see BoJack Horseman? You were
Hey.
trained by BoJack.
I have seen BoJack Horseman.
Just
No,
because you were drunk. Yeah, that's what I said.
no, I became drunk eventually.
Oh.
but that's
Praying
not-
mantis folk.
It was PTSD.
Oh.
All of them just
Well,
mantis
Dark
from
Sun.
Poe.
Dark
From-
Sun has mantis folk that are.
They're just thrycrane.
Yeah, they are sorry.
They're just thrycrane.
I want to say they
But
were
all of them are
lemurs.
all of them.
Lemurs?
They were
Hell yeah.
lemurs.
They
Kitty
taught you how to
Booty!
they taught you how to move it,
Yes, that had prehensile tails that were as long and
This
lanky
explain-
as their arms.
This explains the bard's multi-class.
Yes, it does explain some of the bard multi-class and so much movement.
What's great about the wildling cultures is it's a bunch of little petty kingdoms just sprawled out among Utah.
Mm-hmm.
So you could go to one wildling kingdom that's like, you know, it's very tribal and very like
So
just primal, and then you go to another one, it's like very organized, very
Like the
I
oxen,
did-
like those
Yeah.
guys are
I
born.
did shoot a message to you in the Discord.
yeah.
Can you quickly say yes or no to that so I can say if so, tell the group.
Yeah, let me
Decisions must be made now.
sure.
Yeah.
All right, well then that's
You and Chris
cool.
have the-
it'll.
Well, I will say this.
Secret messages back and forth.
I have an idea for it.
Okay.
Secret.
Okay.
Got
Oh no, he's typing back. These dots are just.
He's just waiting with anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even typing. He just like started to, and now the phone's just gonna tell me. He sent me that GIF, the GIF of the three dots going back and forth over and over.
Okay, since I made the Dr. Frankenfooter joke, I have not watched One Piece.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna invest the energy into a 1,000 episode series at this point. However, I do love the people on TikTok that have taken the dude with the 8-foot tall dude with the giant head that looks like Dr. Frankenfooter
Mhm.
and just put lines from Tim Curry over what I don't know what's up with that dude.
Oh,
Or
that
if
guy.
he's a
That
bad,
guy.
it's like he's in a purple singlet and has it's just Tim
Oh, I know
Curry's
that
maked up
guy.
head with his poofy fro.
Yeah.
And like he does a pelvic thrust in an episode, and like all I know is that they keep putting Tim Curry over him. I don't know if he's a villain or not. I'm just down because it makes me laugh every
He
time.
is somewhat of like a not major villain. That he's just one of the additional pirates. I think that his fandom. You can correct me if I am wrong. That he basically has like advanced disguise self, pretty much.
Okay. So I did not found the town. I didn't create this town, but there is a town named after me because I'm a beacon of hope in the Brima area. One of those little townships. Maybe it could be filled with lemur people.
it. It
Tons of lemur
I
people,
want it.
and they know me.
They're like, you look familiar.
So would
There's a statue of me, but it has my helm on it, and that's the thing that I'm
no,
missing, and so no one knows it's me.
Look, that that statue's so old, there's erosion over the face.
But it's erosion of the face, and it has this big fancy helmet, and I'm missing my helmet. That's my relic that I can't find. And so they're like, hey, this town's named Reginald. And I was like, hey, that's my name. Did you you look like my friend.
Okay, so I have a question for Sir Reginald.
I've got an answer, maybe.
Would you have died somewhere in Brema or elsewhere? Because I'm trying to track.
Oh, it wouldn't be Brema because Brema was recently.
It's been about 200 years since Brema.
Yeah,
Or
so
a little under 200 years.
Where would
You're right.
where would a settlement have been, or like cities have been around the time that I died?
And you're playing. Okay, you're playing an exile, but you're playing a human, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Human
so-
Muppet. Yeah.
Yeah, human Muppet. Yeah. The Regal Forest.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds perfect actually, because I already mentioned like drinking a lot and going to sleep under a tree and then just not waking up.
Yeah.
So
And lemurs.
lemurs.
Lemur people can be in the Regal Forest.
I've written that on the map now.
Yeah,
I
I
just
got
put
Wren up
a dot.
here. I've got.
Yep.
I put a dot.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's
so
fine.
all the wildlings are like a experiment gone wrong by
Yeah.
another traveler. So they're
Yeah.
everywhere.
They were created
Freaking Dr.
like
Moreau.
long, like before the old kingdoms, long ago, like way before
Mm-hmm.
anyone. From an archfey, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Who got exiled in board?
Typical Fae.
Human archface stuff.
yeah.
Archfey.
But yeah, okay. So Nathan's character, your character, I think it's going to be between y'all two that are going to be the most recent. But I think you would be the next one.
I had my math as I would have passed away in 350, new era.
350.
Because I had initially said 200 years ago when I started the backstory, and that was for dude face, but I wasn't born until 10 years after that, so that would have been 190 years before, and then I was 60-ish when I died. So that would put us at 350, new era.
About 350.
Okay, so you're fairly recent
Right.
compared to
Right. Like only 130 years
Oh, okay.
before present.
Ooh,
Let's
could,
say-
could she have stayed in my town?
No, I was a Crimson Belt baby all the way.
Yeah.
Um,
She was born in the.
I'm
Belt.
going to say I'm still more recent than that.
You're nearly Redwell era.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
He died yesterday.
Basically, the question is that
He
like,
thought he was just taking a
when
nap.
would
He
like
like,
some
shit.
type of magic academy or anything would have
I don't
been
mind
formed?
Oh yeah, I did have a question. Where is Whisperwind? Is that the Une? Sorry, is that the Une?
Whisperwind is a rather shady academy
So
in
no.
Vemondale.
Got it.
It's rather shaded.
So it is a shady magic.
Welcome to
academy.
the University of
Yeah.
Lich Online.
So,
Oh no, sorry, Lich on Scry.
so there's a lot of really powerful magicians, which wizards are usually called magicians in this world.
Okay.
And people, okay, so it's a place where people go and learn, and you can go to the Whisperwind Academy and just learn to be a wizard and just go off and do your
Right.
own merry thing. But there is like a secret structure that is dedicated to trying to figure out and like acquire as much magical information and items and relics as possible and keep it from everyone else. And they have their fingers in a lot of pies in Vemondale.
I
Should
would
definitely wash your hands.
I
Yeah.
would say that Drusilla was basically a traveler turned basically resident of Utah, that she basically started off as like a protector. Awesomer, that if that you would allow me to basically say that like whenever like a old one dies, that they lose that protector status and could become a fallen.
I mean,
So
if you
whenever they-
want it, like if you want it to be like that, Drusilla became fallen when she died.
Yeah,
Maybe
then-
that like her connection was severed, or so. If you're so is your character from Utah or
Yes.
okay? So to go over a little bit of the old blood, the way spirituality works in Utah, the
Do,
most
do we need to wrap things up so
No.
you can?
I was just double checking when. Also, Baby will be on recording with us in a moment. Whenever him's got to go to work. So Freya will then destroy this corner of the table.
Well, I
This
mean,
one?
yeah, if we could like do like a blur effect, probably. if you wanted to.
The baby.
My other child has already been on stream so many times running through the room. I'm just glad.
And jumping upside down in a chair. And
Or when he came in like the rake while we were playing Monster of the Week, just on
Oh, God.
and just ran across the room like, the fuck was that?
okay, so spirituality in Utah, the most common versions of spirituality are ancestor worship and spirit worship. And when you talk about divinity in Utah,
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes the more powerful and more godlike something gets, the more obscure they are. So you can kind of think of it as a cosmicism sort of deal.
Like think like the more spirits worship, the more powerful. It's like the powerful spirit in this area is Ceranos, which is an actual Celtic deity. But
Can you spell that one, please?
yes, absolutely. Would you?
There are 17 letters that are not pronounced in it.
Every letter is pronounced. So I'm just gonna give it to you.
No.
And just like our friend
Good.
Tony, she had a character named Neve. It's not spelled how you think.
It's
Right.
not.
It is not. There's a MH.
By the way, Neve was a badass.
Oh, I love Neve. Neve was my favorite. Aldrich
My-
legit would have died for Neve.
My best friend is currently in the process of writing like a mob romance kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so she's got like the Russian mafia and the Irish mob. And one of the siblings of the younger generation of the Irish crew is Neef.
Yeah.
Oh, Carnunos. Okay.
Yeah. So if I could, like,
I figured you knew it, but I've always
Carnunos
Felt
is
it.
about as bad as Pan. Like, honestly, in terms of chaos and sheer debauchery,
and he's just
run.
that's just how he is.
Yeah.
Don't you tell
Tony-
us how to have a good time.
yeah,
Good
Tony,
job.
if there was any person I
Just
could
realizing
drag,
who my patron saint's gonna be in this game, like yes.
if there was anyone I could drag across the sea or across the ocean to come play with us in real life, it'd be Tony, or at least one of them.
I'd grab Giz too.
I would grab Gibbs too. Maybe burning. We'll see.
So
I'm
we
kidding,
were
bro.
talking spirit
You know what?
worship
I would not do that to
the-
Burning. I would not pull them
Ancients,
out of the
dead.
haven that is Belgium.
That is true.
and the more esoteric something gets, the more rare it becomes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So the biggest worship is ancestor worship with Purun, which is the supposed person that shattered the mountain. Purun is like
it's flavored for every single culture.
Yeah,
everybody
like,
has
if
their own
you-
background.
if you go to like an Aven culture, Purun is Aven. If you go to an Exile culture, Purun is like a dwarf
Exile.
or a human.
It's still Oven, but it's just Sam the Eagle.
But the reason why Aasimar are called Old Blood is because of that ancestor worship. When you're an Old Blood, you have the blood of the quote the first.
Mhm.
You have a particularly potent blood. Is what it means. Honestly, most people don't really know why that like Aasimar or Old Blood happened. They're just like, oh, that's
Yeah, smack.
I was like, I have a question. Smack the camera.
Yeah.
At least it didn't fall.
Okay. Asmar,
Mm-hmm.
Ask more.
do we people in this world have we seen very many of them?
they're very rare.
Would it be normal for someone to misinterpret that is not Asmar, but instead like some kind of human bird hybrid, like the lemur hybrid or
They could
wildling
be-
type
Or
thing?
In
worse
our-
yet, a
in-
shade touched.
Or
Yeah.
even like a
Like
That
we
does-
don't know
that
what
would
you
make a little
is.
sense.
because our
Like,
tieflings,
Yeah.
the tieflings in this are just like expressions of emotion from like
Yeah.
powerful wizards. You know,
Yeah,
we
there's
could
the
be
Emotus and
mistaken that. Chris,
Oh,
Chris
that-
modified it a little bit. I haven't
I
actually
gotta-
read up on
If
it.
that's the case for the Redwell game, I got to talk to you about.
Well, there's the Emotus and then there's the Corrupted. The reason why
No, you
I-
just try to simplify it because mine was very vague. The way
I actually switched it up a bit because Pathfinder, my dumbass, just is like, I'm going to make it even more Pathfindery. So there's Emotus, which is like kind of tiefling-y. They're based on, I think they're called the Grongi and Pathfinder, in which they have like expressions that could be like bestial, but they're not, but it's like all beneficial. And then the tiefling are the corrupted Emotus. So when it comes
I'll roll
to
it how I want to roll it.
God damn it. So when it comes to everything in Yuta, the shade has touched it in some way. When it comes to divinity, your character probably has like if they're from here, they're old blood, they're likely touched with some sort of divine spirit.
Right.
But no one really knows why. And most people are like, oh yeah, you got some good blood in you.
Honestly, I think Spencer, you're creative enough. You could actually make it
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
So basically, that what I am basically saying is just based on from that the backstory that I given you was then that that Dusilla is basically like a magician's apprentice / just researcher, possibly for like all of the that stuff that you had just mentioned. I forgot what you had mentioned before all of the crosstalk happened.
So you want to be part of the Whisper Wind?
That if then that's the only magic academy or
There's like the Palin Guard, which are more like Indiana Jones style. We're gonna get relics.
I would probably say that the Palangar more so based on the fact of that, just then that question, the dude at the Palangar suffer from like opposition attacks, say.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh,
there's
well,
like
then
there's like the secret mage wars going on.
Yeah,
right now.
so basically then that Dusilla was basically helping out basically with just at the research part, but she was also known for basically that I had to choose between that her basically that her helmet, which then I would describe up in like character appearances and stuff, but her mace basically imagine Darth Maul's head on like a stick, and that is her warhammer.
Okay.
So then it is gone.
Where's the Palin Guard based out of? I haven't seen that name anywhere in
The
the.
Palin Guard Artificers are a group that don't have like a set destination, but they do operate out of Vemondale, usually in the Western Wilds or the Eastern Wilds, and they also operate in the Crystal Band.
Okay.
They are in direct opposition with the Whisperwind Academy because they both have intersecting goals, and the Whisperwind Academy is not known for
They're the CIA of Yuta.
yeah, they're like a mob / CIA sort of organization.
Right.
Yeah, CIA. Yeah.
So basically,
Mob /
then that
CIA.
just
CIA.
felt
Yeah,
like.
same.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
would say like I would basically say on that the timeline itself, when basically that a little bit after that that the Whisper Wind was founded, and then I would say roughly at around like 270 to 290 would have been basically whenever then that that there would have been like an attack that y'all would know of, and basically that like Dusilla and crew were basically that they were basically caught off guard based on like some kind of like insider information that basically corrupted and basically made it to where that the Whisper Wind could actually get ahead of the game a little bit of that the Palin Guard, and then that whenever that she died, that protector status of her was zapped away, but she was still able to maintain her old one blood, but it was falling out of grace, if you would.
I have an idea.
DM it if you want to.
How about this? Like, okay, so we can stretch the Palin Guard as far back as we want because it's made up. It's all made up.
Right.
I made this shit up myself.
Honestly,
all fiction.
I wrote
but
this book.
We could have a section where your character was executed by being thrown into a shade pit.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, so
We've
your
not made
character,
shade pits a thing.
so your character becomes a fallen Asimar or fallen Old Blood because you were corrupted by the shade.
Yeah, so that'll work. And then that basically then that you can decide wherever that her legendary mace is. But
Oh, I have ideas now.
Is it a pit?
It's in a pit.
Who executed her, Chris?
It would
I
be
think she's saying
agents
the-
from the
the
Whisperwind Academy.
mhm.
Like I said, the Whisperwind Academy, they're like, yeah, we're a legit school, and also we'll murder you.
Southern University of Lich on Scry. Yeah, I got it right when I said the first time, right?
Yeah. I thought you were about to name a university
So
of a
Dusilla,
particular flying firebird
Being
that
an
really
old
exists.
blood.
And I was like, what?
Someone that was a teacher a scholar of some sort
Right.
who was going out with the Palangard artificer to reclaim old artifacts
Right.
was probably intercepted by some Whisperwind agents. Things went south and didn't go well for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the idea of your character is going to have to try maybe reclaim that protector status or reclaim their old glory as an old blood.
Right.
Keep wanting to say Asimar, but it's sometimes it can be a pain to be like,
You're like, I want to be creative.
I want to rename everything.
yeah, why don't we name
It's
everything?
a
So
to call it
when would have Dusilla actually died?
She said about he said about 270 to 290.
270
Yeah.
to 290.
So about 285.
Before Brima freed from the shade, after Vimendel officially established.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's this.
What's the
Timeline
character does?
person.
We'll get into that.
Oh, okay, we'll get back to that.
yeah.
No,
Him the baby.
I'm the baby.
The baby.
Mm-hmm.
The baby also.
I'll take them too.
I'm gonna pass one to Hewitt.
I really need to talk to Claire because we can't advertise for it anymore because of Twitch advertisement guidelines. But the lady who makes these really should try to get these for the rest of the crew because she does good work. Emily has one that's the gray one, but she also has one that has a little sad ghost that just says ghost soda on it, so that she can drink her LaCroix in private. She can hide her sin.
Wait, that he would already got
No,
one.
give him part. Give him one.
Hold on. Reach the long up. Hold on. Jed, at some point we have to have little sticks off of our arms while we're talking.
What's that?
I just poured beer on my crotch.
Good job. Looks like you pissed yourself.
Realizing I
Smells
don't
like
have a
it too,
cup,
probably.
but I do have a cup.
As long as we don't spill beer on my dog.
But yeah, that for anyone that who
Yeah,
has
but there was-
played with me before, that she's gonna be not a fiery redhead, but the polar opposite of Zanya.
You're
chill.
going goth.
Goth and chill.
Emo
Figuratively.
for life.
Speaking of goth, you know they're remaking The Crow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw.
Oh,
They made him look like- the crow looks like Jared Leto as the Joker.
No. I mean, no. He has like the big forehead because it's fucking Bill Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård.
No, I'm talking about the bad lame tattoos.
Oh,
yeah, no. I went the same direction. I was like, that's Jared Leto as the Crow. And they're like, no, it's this other guy. Like,
Okay, wait. Now I gotta.
you call it what you want to.
Look, Bill Skarsgård is a good actor, and it's not his fault that he has like the I'm from
The
northern.
five head, yeah.
I'm from Northern Europe's and ancestrally, so I got a head this big.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not his fault. That's genetic.
That was the most terrifying thing about Pennywise.
That was his actual hairline.
Teutonic, skew Teutonic.
It's not okay.
That little bit of Neanderthal DNA that still exists within us.
Whatever. I have more Neanderthal DNA than most people.
We know. We can tell.
Oh, thank you.
Damn.
That's the look I was going for.
I mean, well, the thing is, it's because you like the classics.
It's true.
What no one remembers is the Neanderthals were sitting there reading Hemingway before there was Hemingway, just reading. Just like, yes,
Yes.
loss happens. Sad.
Man, it's only like, god damn it, I don't want to go to New York Post.
Anyway, so if you're the baby, then
Yeah.
that means me, right?
Yep.
Okay. So.
Okay, here's the picture.
See, the bad.
Come on.
Let me see.
Emily's mad because originally Jason Momoa was supposed to be the Crow.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Why would that be a
He
thing?
would have.
Like, it just doesn't feel
mind
right,
it,
though,
it's just
'cause he's
that
supposed to be
he
skinny
has,
little
like,
dude.
A dorky ass
Do you
haircut.
remember Jason Momoa
Where his
back
hair's
when he was
like,
on Stargate
hello.
Atlantis and Baywatch before he got ripped?
No. I do remember Jason Momoa from that commercial where he took off all his muscles.
And he was skinny.
And when he takes off all his muscles, but before he takes off his hair, that guy could be the Crow. Because the Crow gets his butt kicked, and that's how he died.
We just need to go back in time and grab Taylor Lautner from before he was on Twilight.
No.
Like
Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
yes,
Yeah.
but no,
Yeah.
literally from the first Twilight movie, not New Moon, when he gets ripped.
No.
Baby Taylor Lautner, not Shark Boy, baby Taylor
Who's-
Lautner, but
Is that the werewolf guy?
Yeah.
Jacob.
Okay, like,
But Twilight era Jacob, not New Moon era Jacob, because New Moon era Jacob gets ripped because werewolf genes.
Right. And in
Okay.
that's whenever Team Jacob versus
Anyway.
Team
In the
Werewolf.
Discord,
Anyway.
some background on the Crimson Belt for you. Is it okay?
He already threw me a lot
He did.
before, yeah.
He
Okay.
gave me 5 pages worth of stuff for a character. Too, which
Okay.
is awesome.
Well, if you already have it, that's fine. I know I wrote. I love mine.
If you want to send it to me, I'll compare it to what he had too.
He probably sent you whatever.
just
right.
just throw
I'll
it
send it.
throw it in
yeah,
my
yeah,
way.
go
And
ahead. Sit.
I'll compare it later.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah. So
Ooh.
Tolla is I'm gonna keep calling it Une because that's how it looks to me. But anyway, so she's orc. She's from the Crimson Belt. Her dad was also a scholar. Who, when he was younger in journeyman era, decided to go out onto the Veldt and try to find some allies, some of the Shadow Walkers, who run around looking for pockets of the shade to infiltrate. And try to get some hands-on chronicling of what they're doing to bring back to the academy for research. And he ended up being taken up by a headmistress, like a boss bitch of the caravan. And they ended up having they had 5 kids together. Tolla was the oldest. But she and her dad and her 3 younger brothers ended up going back to the capital to hang on.
Umano.
I thought it was Muto.
Muto, yeah.
Okay. Going back to the capital city, Unamuto, because the youngest child, still a baby, got lost in the plains. And when mom and her hunt team went out to find the baby, they never came back. And so the single dad with 4 kids headed back to the capital and raised his kids. And so Tolla ended up going into academia as well. But her focus was very much on just straight research and trying to track down a way to track the shade. Because the Une, it would have been back in the old era, before the shade itself really became a factor. One of the Une civilization's prized possessions was this Une tome, a book of
Tome?
no.
Une Tome?
Well, I mean, Yun tome sounds even worse though. But
That
anyway,
sounds like a note that makes you go.
yeah. So this Une tome, kind of like the Strixhaven library is supposed to have a copy of every spell ever cast. The Une tome is supposed to have the purest form of every spell ever cast. But when the capital was lost, nobody knows what happened to it. So that was her life goal, her magnum opus, is to find the Une tome. And so when she was about 60, having done all of this research for her entire life, she heads out into the Veldt to find a pack of Alizai and travel with them and try to find a way to the capital. And she did manage it. They managed to find the capital, and what they found there was not happiness, and that's where she died. And so her legendary artifact is her unfinished book, her unfinished dissertation, her research. And had a whole name for it, and I forgot what it was.
It's such a good name.
Hang on, I'm gonna go get it again. Oh god, I have it. I can get it.
I enjoyed reading her because she did this.
Intense, I could tell.
Not to put you on the spot.
No,
but
I love writing backstories. They're the only short story shit that I can write. Is backstories. But oh, where are you, Tolla? There you are. Scroll, damn you. There we go. Okay, so it's called Beyond the Veil: Reclaiming the Lost History and Great Works of the Une, one page at a time. Because academics do academia. And but yeah, so that's her whole entire shtick. Is that she's she's a bookworm who really didn't have a lot of field experience, and that's actually kind of what got her and a bunch of these allies I killed, was she did not know how to function in a combat situation. And so that's kind of why I'm trying to, like, that's why I'm focusing on the strategy side of things, because that's going to be like her main focus now. It's like, I've been brought back because I fucked up and I'm going to do better this time.
Yeah.
And so her focus is shifting just a little bit to the side of like planning for every eventuality and possibly even over planning. But she is a divination wizard, and most of that is geared toward finding secrets, not necessarily looking into the future, but like finding things that are lost.
Yeah.
So that kind of flavor of divination.
And that also just fits the Une, whatever.
Yeah.
Spirit.
I mean,
I'll put
we
it's
can call
the
it
tomb of the
Une.
Une. Tomb of the Une.
Yeah, so I forgot to ask, what's your character's apparent age on Resurrection?
On Resurrection, I figured it'd be like him as a young man.
Okay,
So
so
like 20.
So in his 20s?
Yeah. Because
Uh,
he would have been like in his 80s.
Presume 28.
okay, presumed 28.
Presumed age. I have a feeling that, because I mean, it's supposed to be that we're resurrected like in our prime, right? Like in our.
And you can, I'm going to let you say what that prime is.
Well, like, yeah, for her, it would have been like early 40s.
Early
honestly.
40s.
Like when she was just getting into like her like doctoral stuff rather than like the grad work, not the under.
And she died around the new era.
350.
New era.
Oh, serious?
Okay.
I mean, education, she moved up. I mean, she was like, Dusilla was basically out there not only like leading lectures, but she was also owned at the front line because of the way that, you know, that she had, that she possibly may have even like developed the Eldritch Knight up in the land of Yuta. Who knows?
Shadesbane. What was your apparent age? What's your apparent
You
age?
can call me Reginald.
Reginald.
It's fine. It's
Reginald,
fine.
what is your apparent age upon resurrection?
Well, according to Reginald, he was never not in his prime. And so we are going to go with a ripe age of 51.
51. Nice.
I died at 52. And so it was like,
There it is.
and so like, dang it, I could still take them all on right now, but ain't nobody to get to take on. And so I'm
Just
just
every now and then Reginald's like,
But yeah,
But
so
before I died, every now and then, like, you want to go? I can go right now.
you
Tolla's
pull your
just,
back out.
Tolla's just the terminal researcher. Like that was her whole entire life. Like she did nothing that was not nose in a book.
And the most recent one, Vernon.
So Vernon Shaw died 460.
Damn, you are, baby.
Vernon appears to be in his early to mid 20s, but because of the two-tone skin tone on his face, it makes him look. You're not sure if he's younger or older than that because he's got purple skin, and then from about just above the bridge of the nose up to the hairline, it gets darker, so it makes his eyes look kind of sunken.
Okay.
So, but Vernon was a simple farmer.
Have a foot.
Okay. Vernon was a simple farmer in the town of Regisburg, way down in the Regal Forest.
Oh my god. There you go.
So,
Regisburg.
Reggie Force.
so two people from the Regal Forest. Got it. Wait, are you from like the north towards more of the Savannah area?
That's where I put the dot on the map.
Yeah.
is
Okay.
for
So
Regisburg.
he's closer to Tellurian than
Reggie's.
It's named after this old motherfucker. There's a statue in the middle of town.
Oh my god.
It's kind of been.
Gene.
There-
The
there-
man they call Gene.
There's gonna be like 4 fucking towns in this world now that have your statue.
You're like,
But like the statue of him is like kind of just.
It's just like
it's
statue
really
of
been
America
weathered
all over the
away.
place, but it's just Reggie.
It's always me. It's always me, and the significance is always the helmet that I don't have. And they're like, man, this guy was famous. That's right, I freaking was. I'm like, that's not you. Where's your hat? I'm like, I don't know.
But he was just a simple farmer until one day he dug up this, we'll call it a mechanical device.
I knew I lost it somewhere.
Pray to the gods that are dead now that you don't find this.
It wasn't.
And when Vernon picked it up, when Vernon picked it up, he it changed his life forever. He ended up working for something called the Gone, and the Gone needed the Gone needs to be complete. The Gone needs to be worked on. The Gone needs to be fixed.
You're just doing Finn all over or Phil all over again.
No, it's
The lamp just needs to be fixed. I swear that's all it is.
it's more of.
I need a lot of silver wire to fix my gun.
So the stuff that y'all can't use as knowledge, the Gone is from Mechanus, and it gained sentience,
Okay.
which immediately caused a problem. So Mechanus then shattered it and put the majority of it into a pocket dimension.
Okay.
I've found a piece of the Gone, and once you get enough of the Gone, it can then breach its way out. Like, it's literally when I put enough of it together, like, oh shit, that's a whole pinky finger. All of a sudden, its hand comes through.
So Clockwork Soul? Just Hexblade?
But so Reggie, to do things, started bounty hunting because he had something that nobody else had, and he got damn good with it.
You said Reggie.
Sorry, not Reggie. I keep doing that because I'm looking at you, and I made the joke about Reggie's bird. But Vernon got a hold of it, made a name for himself, started bounty hunting, and every time he takes a bounty and kills them, there's a new notch that forms on the handle of the Gone. Well, Reggie tried to do good because, in all honesty, he's always just going to be the farm boy at heart. And one day, he got rid of Baron Julian near Reggiesburg.
No!
People were celebrating, but he let Mort, the son of the Baron, go. And that was where Vernon made his mistake. Is everybody's celebrating, big, huge party. He's like, all right, man. Good. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go on back and do my business. And he went to the outhouse.
It's like, I'm going to go take a shit.
And when he closed the door, he couldn't see anything, and he got filled full of arrows.
Arrow.
Through the walls. The only way they could take him out is for him not to be able to see them. So that was Vernon's death. Is he had just sat.
Wait, King Julian the first or the fifth?
No, it's just it was just Baron Julian.
Oh, Baron Julian the fifth.
Baron Julian the
the-
Fifth.
Great
It's
grandchild.
It's Julian.
all the
Julian's
Julians
spelled
are
with a
dead.
Q.
Yeah,
Stop that.
obviously.
It's at the beginning. It's silent. But no. So that's Vernon met his demise about 20 years ago.
Retaliation for a bounty.
No, it's he helped free a town. He helped free the town he was from the Baron who was overtaxing and treating people poorly. But because the dude's kid was like a teenager, like a kid, he's like, go shoot. Nobody wants you here, go. I'm gonna kill no damn kids.
Go on, get.
Gone.
Get.
Yeah. Hey.
Get.
And then he died.
And then the kid ran off and everybody's having a party, but the kid's like, oh, hire me a whole bunch of mercenaries. And Vernon got filled full of arrows. And the thing Vernon knows he's missing is one of the last pieces of the Gone that he did acquire was the gun belt that he wore. And it was a very well made, elegant, like
Intricate,
like very well tooled piece of leather that gave some benefits that he can't remember right now because, I mean, done died.
Done dead.
Done been dead a minute. You say you are dead.
You said you're dead a minute. Everyone else in the party's like, I've been dead 1,000 years.
I've been dead for like
30.
the
I
entirety
think I
of
know you.
China.
I'm gonna wake up in this tomb thinking that I'm waking up underneath that tree. I'm like, what the hell happened here? Where am I?
Okay, so
Would it be possible, with backstory revelations and shit, would it be possible to know where on here I died? Like where is the lost capital?
It's Azor, isn't it?
it's very close.
I'm not gonna lie, that has been eating me alive. Like, I want to know.
And where would that execution spot would have been?
Beautiful.
Yours is a little bit more.
So what was the town's name where you died then? It wouldn't
It was
have
still
been. It
Regisburg.
was still Reggie.
Like went out and about and came back.
So you're right.
Yeah,
We're gonna serve.
yeah. That's roughly where I put it. Dot. Like I eventually at one point made it all the way down, to where there's some like jackasses that were extorting their workers in their breweries.
I want to copy your dots.
Yeah.
No, y'all have all done this putting dots where people died and stuff. I was like, I didn't do it. Now I feel bad.
Okay.
I'm right there.
Well, Ren's up here
Oh,
somewhere in the
okay.
Obsidian Authority.
That's where I'm buried.
Yeah, I know. That's where.
Okay.
I don't know where exactly. The tomb is going to be somewhere here on
There's
this
giant
border.
chasms in Felorius where the gliding
I
aisles.
have
would
Reggie's
be
brook
that
somewhere
far.
right around in here.
Maybe you were thrown into one of those.
Right.
The big.
Okay.
It's a big giant
And we
pit.
don't know where she died.
Where
Okay.
the X is?
Oh,
I had
already?
that, that I had basically had almost got that Wimma binder D&D, find a party, find a beholder, find a lich head book from Books A Million. That would have been fun.
And Drusilla's here.
I try like y'all are kind of like all over the place a little bit, which is good.
I mean that's good.
It's
I,
not like we all died in the exact same spot.
doing the exact same
We were
thing.
close. We died fairly near to each other.
Yeah, which is good because
Regional.
I need to fill out the regal forest a bit.
Now next question.
A whole bunch of lemur people.
All of this lore, all of it revolving around the shade. Can you describe what the shade looks like?
Of course. So the shade is.
Remember the nothing from the never-ending story?
I mean, that's kind of what I've been envisioning, but
It's very similar to the nothing. Or what it is a thinning of the veil of reality. So things can pass through, or you can pass through this ethereal boundary that becomes obscured as the shade becomes more present. Now, the creatures and the things of the shade are of their own. You like when it comes to like creatures of the shade, it's how do I explain it? It's not like aberration, it's not cosmic, it's of its own place. But like it's as if like when mana depletes,
Mm-hmm.
these creatures come about.
so it's matter versus dark matter. Kind
Just
of.
about, yeah.
Okay.
And the shade,
Baby.
like when there is mana in the world, there is a stable line between realities, a stable line between realms that exist, whether it be the realm of life and death or the realm of timelines, the realm, just whatever. When mana is depleted, the shade appears and erases that boundary.
Okay. So those of us that can cast spells, are we harnessing mana to do this? Or...
You are harnessing mana.
Okay. Okay.
Now, what you would know as a scholar, you would know that mana tech was the
right. That was old era stuff. Though,
yeah, that was
right?
old era tech that overused mana. Mana is technically it's a renewing resource, but it's a slowly renewing. Think about it as what's up?
Just so
Moving cars.
What moving cars so that Emily can get out to go to work.
Okay, yeah. Think about it like
Who has more vehicles behind the truck or the car?
I parked behind the truck.
The car.
I think I'm parked behind the truck.
Okay,
I think it's just me.
It is me.
Oh yeah,
I'm behind you.
I am behind Nate.
oh, then Neysa's the only one that needs to move.
I'm behind the truck.
That means Emily can take the truck. If there's
You're
only
not
one.
behind Nate.
I'm
You
behind.
were here,
You're
already.
behind
Did
Chris.
you leave?
No,
No.
I had to move.
Like,
I
here,
I had
take my-
parked behind Chris.
Sorry about this, DM.
Let's go find out.
Let's go
Yeah.
find out what.
So,
We can just pick out.
Or-
I know that I saw there was a description of mana on here and then I lost it.
I can send you a description of mana.
No, I know it was on here.
I think Nathan can too. We have a whole description because technically mana is like something that can be manipulated, but when it comes to the old world, the mana was drained so quick that it caused the shade to come in. So
Right.
think of it like as a climate change catastrophe. We use a lot of shit. We cause
He takes the truck, and it's only Chris and Mace's car that he.
No matter what, it's two cars that got to move.
Yeah, no matter what.
So just move up from behind the so she can have AC.
Oh, well,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
So think of it as like a climate catastrophe. The old kingdoms overused mana tech, which in turn caused the shade because there was no mana left, and there's no latent mana left in the world. So this gives mana sort of a life essence, or sort of a
There it is. It's right there. I'm blind as hell. Okay. So, do you have, like, for flavoring purposes of, like, spellcasting and shit, do the different schools of magic, like, rules as written, have different colors of mana that they
not necessarily.
manipulate or draw? No? Okay.
Hmm.
So do purple, white, red, black, and green have things that they're mostly associated with, or?
It's mostly associated with how they're used. They're not.
It's on the last page under terms.
Oh, under terms.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've had issues uploading Redwell recently for this.
Huh?
Like, there's one Redwell video I've tried to upload 3 times and it just won't. It keeps stalling at 26%.
Sounds like a corrupted file.
I'm gonna have to double check because it also doesn't want to play, so I think so. But the problem is, I don't have the original anymore, so we might have a lost episode of Redwell.
So when it comes to mana, there are like different colors or shades of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they do different things. Like green creates life, or it's verdant mana. So it allows like the propagation of like flora and fauna. Black recedes the shade. So if you see like like not necessarily glowing, but black mana recedes the shade.
No, don't eat my
You
nose.
have red, which is the volatile mana. It's used for like you would know it as a evocation. White is, I believe, light, and can't remember what purple was. I know blue is the natural, just it's pure form.
Okay.
I got her in here, Em.
Like, I'll send you some more stuff off stream, just give you an idea on the the nature of the shade and the world itself, so you can have a little more idea. Because I figure as a wizard, you would want to be able to be like, hey, I know that.
And specifically with that, like, pictorial focus.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess once everyone comes in, we can do a wrap up and see where.
So, just to get up into like the mindset, so I can give you a more kind of like fleshed out story that since I know that she was executed now, that people be jealous of that the old blooded, like certain folks.
People would be God damn it, Hewitt.
It almost
People-
like blue screen.
There are some people that are like jealous of it. They see it again. There's a lot of ancestor worship, so there's a lot of people that revere the old blooded, but there's also a lot of people that think either they're shams or they're kind of jealous about who they are. It's like, oh, just because you're strong doesn't mean I'm weak. People get very insecure when they see old blooded.
Hate us because of Anus.
Yeah, that's true.
Dang old blood, man. Some people, they just get all upset because they're like, no, I'm weak blooded. So, no, so they just gonna hate on somebody that can live.
Never in my life have I
Weak-blooded.
been called young blood, but again.
Weak blooded is a slur. Wow.
Weak blooded, weak
You
blooded.
ain't no young blood.
Also,
You old.
this what my sissy got me. It says plots and schemes, and then it's got a sword made of the dices.
I like that's what made
But yeah,
Feel the paper.
I guess at this point we just need to see if there's any questions people have about the world or about the setting or about the game itself. If there's anything.
I do have a
You're not
question.
gonna
That
sit down,
are
you
you
gotta
going to
stand.
be bringing back the same thing that we did up in like the tester campaign, that where like where that you're handing us like note cards to like describe like areas, NPCs?
Oh yeah,
and stuff?
definitely.
That was
Especially
a fun mechanic. I
yeah,
do with it.
definitely when it comes to like, okay, let's say I'm trying not to give anything away, but let's say we're dealing with something with your character and there is y'all enter an area where that is important to your character. I will hand you something and you will have to give me an idea of what exactly, like, you can give me a description of what you see or what it was, depending on what it is. I'm trying to be vague here because I don't want to.
Understandable.
But yeah, there is going to be a little bit of that. Baby.
That mischief face, though. She's like, ha ha.
No,
Oh no, Vernon!
no, Vernon's character sheet is further away. I knew it was going to be happening here in a minute.
It's like, that's not what I want. I want the paper.
But yeah, we are going to be doing that. Is there anything else anyone wants to?
Oh no!
So
Oh,
I know that
no,
this like this exact time of the day is not going to be when we're going to be doing this
Yeah.
specifically. But
With,
do we have an idea?
scheduling wise, I'm as the one that's hosting. It highly depends on when M gets off or goes to
and
work.
her schedule
Okay.
changes
Yeah.
like weekly,
She doesn't work
right?
the same time on it. Like we can, if it's like when like today she goes in at 3, like we can get started by like noonish.
Mhm.
It's fine. If she opens, then she usually gets off at 3. So we can start right after then. If she closes, though, we can't start until after 6 because
I think in situations like that, if she closes, it might be more pertinent to skip that day.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just I guess keep an eye on Discord.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on Discord and see.
Unless
Yeah,
we,
we
wa-
just-
unless we wanted to try a different day, because I do know that like tonight at 8 we have our podcast.
Yeah.
Even Saturday would be fine.
Yeah, Saturday would be fine with me. Any day on the weekend.
It just depends how everybody else.
It again, my schedule on the weekends is 100% affected by Emily's schedule.
We understand.
My laptop decided to be on Eastern time for some god's awful reason. It's fucking weird.
Do you like
That's a
being
great
on
update.
Eastern time, Keanu? You like being on Eastern time? Anyway, anything else we need to?
No, I can think of
No,
it.
I am just excited for this game.
You were good.
Awesome.
Gotta
I
be
think you were
fun.
good.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I sent you my official name and title.
yeah. Please send me all of that because there might be some times where it comes up.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep thinking of random stuff now that I'm like the I'm not gonna call it his glory, but his myth has actually unfolded a little bit more here.
And now I'm gonna just like make shit up. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna be like, yeah, that was what's that mean?
Yeah, 100%. There's gonna be stuff that like I never did that. That guy's name was Gerald, but sure, me, yeah,
Like
I was there. I saw it.
Gerald, Ronald, it's just all just like mistaken for
Oh,
Reginald.
I see what's happening. Chris's chair is hitting the support that's right behind him, and
okay.
that
Yeah.
shakes the whole thing.
My bad. I'm
No,
gonna.
we just got to move the table a little bit forward for you.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was our session 0.
Whoop, whoop.
So whatever time next week we can do it, or if we can't, we're hoping to do.
When she gets her schedule, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
When Emily gets your schedule, I'll tell everybody.
we're hoping to do Sundays.
Okay.
I don't know when these will be released. I don't even know if this is going to be released.
Well, that's up to you because it's session 0. I was recording it mostly so you would have quality feedback later on, or if you wanted to post it up, give us a 1-week buffer between episodes.
True. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah,
I have a healthy bit of editing to do here in a minute.
Anyway, I think that is our session 0.
Okay.
And hopefully next week we'll see y'all and we'll dive into the tombs of Darrowan.
Right. And
You specifically said.
oh wait, well then that first socials that you can basically find us on our website on teambonusaction.com. It just basically just has like links to our our Instagram, Facebook, our X/Twitter handle is at bonus_team. Team, and then that that the website was designed by Frecky V. That that upcoming schedule tonight we have a bonus roundtable to where that we will be discussing about new systems to where that everybody wants to suggest that we try or play. Then that on Monday we have Holy Winds. On Wednesday that do we have at Redwell Chronicles?
Will be this week.
Okay, Redwell will be this week, and then that
Which is based in this setting.
and then that on like the next following Sunday will be probably, hopefully, maybe just at the first session of just Darrowan. And just thank you all so much for just watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. Just give us thumbs up or whatever you all do. And then, well, that's it. Well, and in that sense that Knox is not here. Don't let your meat low. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.